Hey guys, Carter's Garage here. So I'm getting the batteries all ready for putting back in the e-bike. Now that I got the tray, e-bike or the battery tray all back in. I don't know if you can see over here. I still have two batteries charging, but one just finished. So I'm gonna start getting some of the wires on the terminals and stuff like that, and go from there. What I'm gonna do first is I'm actually gonna test them all. The one that just came off the charger, I'm gonna let sit for a couple minutes, let it cool down. Not that it's hot or anything, just I'm gonna let like the cells inside cool down, because they'll be jumping all around, bouncing off each other. Because right now, let me get this in there. You see that? Because right now it is sitting at 13.4 volts, 4.7. So yeah, we'll let it see. It's going 4.6, so it's literally going down as the cells inside are cooling off. So as long as that doesn't drop down 13, like some of the other ones here. This one's 13.04, and this one's been sitting overnight. 13.03, 13.08, 13.15. So like that's where we want them all sitting. We don't want them underneath that at all. And these have been all sitting overnight, so they are holding charge, which is great. And this battery over here that I actually said it was done this morning, I put another charge to it, and it's taken another 3,000 milliamps. So I think I have my RC charger cutoff is 20,000 milliamps, because none of my RC batteries take that. They're all my biggest RC battery is only 7 amp hours, which is 7,000 milliamps. So I think I only have it set to 20,000. But so yeah, so I'm gonna start kind of getting the wires on here. So what we can start with is the positive wire that's going to be going up to your breaker. And then, and remember, so when we were taking them out, on this side, when I'm sitting in the e-bike, I removed these ones because these ones were harder to get to. And on this side, these 3 batteries, I removed the positive on this side. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting, I'm going to be pretty much doing it reverse. I'm putting the positives on, so that when I have it in here, I just have to hook up the ones that I disconnected when they were in the battery tray, if that makes sense. I'm not fully wiring them up until I get them all in there. I'm just putting just the single wire on there, so then I just have to do the one terminal, the negative terminal, once they're in the bike there. So yeah, so if you notice, you have 4 wires the same length, and you have 2 wires that are Well, then you have one wire that's really long, and it's just positive. So then that's the one that goes up to your breaker. But then you notice you have one that's a little bit longer. You really didn't really need this. You really just needed another short one, but they did this. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the negative on. Actually, no, I'm gonna put the positive on because I removed that one when it was in the battery tray. Not that it really matters how you put it back together. You can even do this when it's all in the bike, but it's going to be more difficult, right? So I'm just kind of getting them ready for to go back in. So then it's literally just the one terminal to each battery that I have to do. So that's all wired up. So what I can do is I can start putting the batteries back in, and then we'll just have to wait for this one battery to finish, which it looks like it's almost done. It's only charging at 0.5 amps, so it's probably another half an hour to an hour. I'll go eat something. Okay, so I'm gonna start putting in the batteries. So how you want to do it is you want to put the back far left corner in first, and then put this one in, and then that one, and then that one, or even this one. I just know you want to get those two back ones in first. So I'm going to do that. And how you want to do is exactly how you have it laid out here. So I'm going to be putting that far back left one in first. So I'm going to grab that one. Set the camera back down. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that one in first. Yeah, it sounds nice on that carpet. It's not plastic on metal. You just want to grab the one that was in front of this one. Put that one in. See, I did that wrong. I did it. I didn't do it as how I said I wanted to do it. Let's see if this works. Yep. That fits in there. Yep. You want to grab the one that was in front of that. Yep. And then I have to wait for that last battery to charge because it goes right here. How I have it pre-wired up, it's going to go right here, and bam. But what I can actually do is I am just going to quickly disconnect this wire. Just taking the screws off. That was another thing I probably should have done. See this one? Ow! That one was a little tight to get in there. You just want to slide that all the way back. Now that's, see, this one will go over there. This one to there. I'll show you. And then what I should have mentioned was actually to take out the screws that you don't have the wire hooked up to, and just leave them to the side. Like, do this before you install them, so then you're not having to do exactly what I'm doing right now. If you just have them already unscrewed and to the side, then you know you're skipping a step. Yep, that's all of them. So then, so we'll start connecting up the wires. So this battery right here, this wire is going to go to the battery that's going to go in here. And remember that big wire is going to come off of here and it's going to go up into there. So what we'll do, and then you want to go back to the furthest battery. Get that one in there, negative to negative. I don't know if I'm being the best descriptive, and if you can really see this in the video, I don't have a better tripod to get any closer. If you've seen in my one video, I'm making a battery tripod. This one's just a homemade one, so, but it's doing just fine for right now. And this is only my 4th day filming, so I'll get better and I'll get better cameras and tripods and all that stuff. So just how I had it wired up on the bench, that's exactly how I'm doing it here. I'm not doing it any different. And again, you know, best thing to do is you can go back to my video on rewiring the batteries and just kind of, you know, take a screenshot of the video or pause it or whatever and just hold it up to what you're doing here and just kind of make sure. I'll put the negative on, the negative from the speed controller on. Oh, that one was being a little difficult, of course. That one's on. And I actually really like these plugs, these wires. With when I go to redo my wires, I want to get plugs with these caps on it. I don't know if you can or not. I'm guessing so. And then you would just crimp it there, just like a regular thing. But yeah. When I go to redo my wiring, if I go up to bigger amperage and more wattage and stuff, I'll definitely be probably redoing my wire. I believe this is 14 gauge. I'll probably go down to 12 gauge or 10 gauge. There's a lot of room here, so for thick wire. And then I'll be changing all this wire stuff too, and the ground wire. This stuff is just it's flexi wire, so so I just have to wait on that last battery to charge, and then it'll be all complete, and gonna go for a test drive. I'll let you know how that goes, and then I'll be doing another video on putting back on the side fairings. It's just as simple as taking them off. So okay, thanks guys, hit that like button and subscribe. Okay guys, so last battery is fully charged. Gonna be installing it right now. This one's a little tight to get in there, but it goes in. You might have to move your tire a little bit more or whatever. So then all we have to connect is just this last positive to negative terminal. And then almost ready to at least test this and turn it on. Like I said, I'm probably gonna go for a rip without all the plastics on. Maybe not though, because it's raining out a little bit, but these things are meant to get a little bit wet. As long as it's not pouring out. But all right, so that's all done and wired up. So what you're gonna want to do is we're gonna put that rubber mat back on top here, and put the two cross bars back across, and put the battery door back on here. I'm gonna do that first. And that was just an 8mm. See if I can do this a little smoother today than yesterday. It's just an awkward angle. Yeah, that one went on a little easier. And again, you can just hold the back of the bolt with your fingers, or the back of the nut. That's all I do. And then I just have to, so the door's back on, I'm going to put that rubber mat on. So I'll bring it up from underneath, kind of bend it down. You see I have this little cutout here in the rubber mat there for this to go up a little bit more. I'm guessing the previous owner did that, and then you're just going to stick that back up there in the hole. And then I'm going to put those two crossbars back on. What I'm actually going to have to do is actually come through the other side. Yeah, that's definitely much tighter on the batteries. That's better for sure. And then these are 8mm as well. You just want to give that a little bit of a tight down, or a little bit of a snug. Bada boom, bada bing. So the door's on. That the battery holders are on. I just call them the battery bars. That wire's back up in there, so we just have to hook it up to the breaker, and then we are good to go there. Just gonna kind of move you up a little bit. Remember, I have this breaker already unscrewed from earlier. You just want to put it in the one side of the breaker, tighten it down. Make sure it's in there properly. You can just kind of give it a little bit of a tug. It doesn't come out. So that's good. And then the last thing to do is just flip your breaker. Boom! Oh, we're lucky. And flip the switch. Oh wow, even the screen looks a little bit brighter. But so yeah, so we'll take it for a little test drive now and see how that goes. I just noticed my my handlebar cross member bar here is a little loose. Give that a couple of tightens up, but we'll do that another time. Yeah, so batteries are in, they're all wired. Battery door is on, battery tray is all bolted nice and tight. What I have to do is I have to tighten back up this one foot peg, because remember we loosened it in order to get that bolt out. And then yeah, everything, the lights all on, reading 78 volts. It's not dropping down, so that's good. And so yeah, so I'm just gonna double check everything. It's always good to double check everything, and then I'm probably gonna go for a little spin. Okay, so that's how you reinstall the batteries. Thanks, guys.